All right, good afternoon. I hope you guys can hear me. My earbuds are kind of going on and off on me. So hopefully they hold out for the class. All right, hope you guys had a good Wednesday. Let's go ahead and get started. Just let's go into seat. Okay, so any comfortable seated position you can do. Bottoms of the feet together, knees open up a little bit wide, so something a little bit different. Or if you just want to sit cross-legged, a little bit more comfortable, a little bit more relaxing posture, you have that option as well. All right, rest those hands on the knees. Pull those shoulders up by the ears. Slide them down and back so that chest lifts, shoulders are pulling back, chest is opening, closing down the eyes. Let's take a really big breath in through the nose. And exhale, just open the mouth, sigh it out. Closing down the mouth, again, we'll take a really big breath in through the nose. And then we'll exhale out through the nose. So slowing down that exhale, making it as long as you can. And as you pull that breath in on the inhale, really expand through that rib cage as much as you can, pulling all of that air in. And it's slow and controlled on the way out. So slowing down that breath helps the mind and the body start to relax a little bit more. Just stay here for a little bit longer, really focusing on that inhale and that exhale. Maybe even giving it a count to the inhale. Maybe a 6-second count to the inhale and to the exhale. If you find that that's maybe a little bit too short, you can go all the way up to maybe 8. Try that. Sometimes focusing on the numbers helps us to focus on that breath. Focus on one thing just a little bit more. Noticing that mind starts to wander, which is very normal, very common. Just acknowledge it. Notice it, come right back to that breath. Sometimes the crazier the day is, the harder it is to just focus on that breath. But really work at it here. Maybe you only find you get like 1 round in and the mind starts to wander. That's okay. Just keep coming back to it, but just stay here for a little bit longer. Blink those eyes open. Go ahead and grab onto the fronts of the knees, rounding that spine, leaning it on back, tucking that chin, gazing towards that belly button. Big stretch between those shoulder blades. So 1 more breath. And then we'll bring it forward and up to flatten out the back, walking those hands forward, just hovering that chest right over those shins. Walk those hands back. Let's sit up nice and tall, reaching those arms up. Exhale, twist it over to that right side. So a lot of length on that inhale. Exhale, look over that shoulders. We find a little more twist. Inhale, bring it back to center. Reach up tall. Exhale it over to that other side. Nice and tall on that inhale. Exhale, twist a little deeper. Inhale, bring it back to center. Let's switch that cross of the legs. So we can grab it onto the front of those knees. We're rounding that spine. Really lean it back as much as you can without falling over. One more breath. And then we'll bring it forward, flatten out that back. Walking those hands forward. Nice flat spine, lifting through that chest as we walk those hands out. Maybe a tiny bit more. Be gentle on those hips. Let's walk those hands back. Again, let's reach up nice and tall. Let's twist over to that left side to start. Tall on the inhale. Exhale, a little deeper twist. Inhale, bring it back to center. Reach it up and exhale it to the other side. And bring it back to center. Go ahead and make your way onto those hands and knees. A few more cat-cows. So, not a few more. We haven't even done any. How about we start with some cat-cows? Inhale, drop that belly, lift the chest, lift the tailbone as we look up. And exhale, round. Then inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, round. And last time through. Inhale, lift. Exhale, round. And inhale, bring it back to center, keeping that core nice and tight. Okay, now just bring those shoulder blades together, okay, in the back. So like I'm trying to drop my chest down, okay? Now I'm gonna press just my shoulder blades away from each other, okay? So you can round through that low back if you like, but it's just, we're really working just kind of the thoracic spine, which is gonna be, it's gonna be hard to demo, but from here to here is kind of your thoracic spine. And again, inhale, pulling those shoulder blades together, press it away. Squeeze them together, press it away. So let's just take a smaller cat-cow. Shoulder blades together, press away. Last time, shoulder blades squeeze together, press away. Now, keep that spine rounded. We're gonna send those hips back to the heels. Zip those legs together so those shins and thighs are touching, okay? Now, sliding those forearms back. So, elbows are touching the knees. If you can get those forearms to touch, great. If not, no big deal. Okay, sending that right arm out first, turn that thumb down, bringing that hand to the tailbone, or you can even hook around to that opposite hip. Big breath in. First thing, look over that right shoulder, and then exhale, twist, open up. So if you're really tight, I'm like I am, your chest might not open up that much. That's okay. Hold it here. Breathe. And now inhale, bring it back down. And exhale, look first, twist, open up. Bring it back down on the inhale. Last time, exhale, twist, open up. Inhale, bring it back down. Switching sides, so let's go and hook that right elbow to that left knee. Nope, right elbow to the right knee. Left arm reaches out, turn that thumb down, back of the hand comes to that tailbone. Big breath in, exhale, look over that shoulder, twist. Stay here for a couple breaths. Inhale, bring it back down. And exhale, look over that shoulder, twist. Inhale, bring it back down. Last time, twist, open up. And inhale, bring it back down. Let's slide those hands forward. So we're gonna lift the hips up. So the hips will come over the knees. Hands are reaching forward. Grip those fingertips into the mat, pulling those forearms towards each other as we rest that forehead down to the mat. Really active, pressing into those palms. Chest is melting down towards the mat. Forehead can touch, or if the shoulders are a little bit tighter, maybe the forehead just hovers. Now lower it down onto the forearms, down to the mat. Step it back to our plank. Let's warm up that core a little bit. So squeeze those legs towards each other. Belly is tight. Press into those forearms. Draw the elbows back. Toes are going to pull forward. A lot of core. Let's go for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Soften those hips down. Point those toes. We're going to pull those elbows back, lifting up through that crown of the head. Tucking that chin just slightly. And soften it down. Bring those hands right into the shoulders, curling those toes under. Now, lift the shoulders up just slightly so they're in line with those elbows. Okay? Press those toes into the mat. Lift the knees up. Okay? Now, a lot of arms, a lot of core here. We're going to try and press, keeping that plank position as we press up. So minimal worming up as possible. Good. And then from here, sending those hips up to the sky. Downward facing dog. So slight bend in those knees. Maybe we pedal out those feet, a little stretch through those calves, hamstrings, those ankles. Just move slow here, take your time, whatever you need. And now let's inhale on the toes. Bend those knees, look forward, stepping those feet to the top of the mat. Feet are parallel to each other. We're gonna slide those hands to the shins, flatten out that back, slight bend in the knees. And exhale, slide those hands down as we fold. A little more bend into those knees, flatten out that back. Let's rise up to standing, reach it up nice and tall. Just interlace those fingers, side bend over to the right. Inhale, bring it back up. Exhale, side bend to the left. Inhale, reach it up. And then we'll release those hands as we fold. Find that flat back on that inhale so hands can come as far up as to those knees if that's what you need to do to get that back flat. Okay, no right or wrong way. Then exhale, plant those hands down. Go ahead and step it back to our plank. Go ahead and lower down onto the stomach, point the toes, roll the shoulders down and back, lifting that chest up into that cobra, or maybe you press it up into that upward facing dog. And exhale, curl those toes, sending those hips up and back, down dog. Pressing that tailbone up towards the ceiling, pressing those heels down towards the mat. Flex your quads. Quads are going to be these muscles, the front of your thighs. Flex. You might feel a little bit more stretch through the backs of those legs. And then inhale on the toes. Bend those knees, stepping those feet, top of the mat. Inhale, find that half lift. Exhale, fold. Then into the knees. Rise on up to standing. Reach it up nice and tall. Let's interlace those fingers and find that side bend over to the right. Inhale, bring it back up. Exhale it to the left. Inhale, reach it back up. And exhale, release those hands down as we fold. Inhale, find that half lift. Exhale, plant those hands down. Step those feet back to our plank. Lower down. If you want a little challenge, maybe you pause in that low plank, then you can flip the toes. Lift that chest up into that up dog. Again, if up dog's too much, stay in that cobra with the belly and chest on the ground. On the exhale, send those hips to the sky. Down dog. And we'll inhale on the toes. Bend those knees, stepping those feet, top of the mat. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Rise up to standing, reach up tall. Interlace the fingers, bend it to the right. Inhale it back up. Exhale it to the left. Inhale, reach it up. Release those hands down as we fold. Flat back on that inhale. Exhale, plant the hands. Step those feet back to our plank. Lower. Inhale, lift that chest. Exhale, and hips to the sky. Downward facing dog. Take one more breath. Press that tailbone up. Press those heels down. Flexing those thighs, those quads. And inhale on the toes. Bend those knees, stepping those feet up to the top of the mat. Bring those big toes together to touch, or at least a little bit closer. Inhale, we'll rise to standing. Reach up tall. Exhale, sink those hips down into that chair. Adding in a twist, we're going to bring right arm back. Left arm is going to reach forward. Okay, so notice when I did that, my hips kind of shifted all the way over. Okay, so again, I'll mirror you guys. You want to keep those knees side by side, trying to open up from that upper back, that thoracic spine. Sink those hips down a little bit lower. Reach it up, switching sides. Right arm forward, left arm reaches back. Inhale those arms up and straighten the legs as we fold. Flat back on that inhale. Exhale, plant the hands, step it on back to our plank. Again, moving through the vinyasa. And if you want to take those push-ups out and just meet us in the down dog, that's fine too. Feet together. Inhaling, right leg to the sky. Curl that knee to the nose. Hugging that knee in tight to the body, rounding through that spine lightly as you can. Lower that foot down. Okay, back knee lowers. Inhale, reaching those arms up overhead. Core is tight, rib cage pulls down, pressing those hips forward. Now, right heel presses down, pulls back. Left knee presses down, pulls forward, okay? So we're stabilizing through those legs. We're really, really strong through those legs. Hold. And then release, press those hips forward a little bit more. Now bring the hands to heart center. As we twist, hook that left elbow across that right thigh. Lifting through that chest, look over that elbow. Bring it back to center. Lower those hands down towards the ground. So maybe you're on your fingertips. Curl the back toes under. Lift that back knee up. So again, same idea. Right toe or right heel is pressing down. Left toes are pulling forward. One more breath. Then we'll inhale, strong through those legs, reaching those arms up overhead into our crescent lunge. So maybe staggering those feet a little bit. More tight, bend into that front knee a little bit more. Let's draw those elbows down. Interlace the fingers behind the back, open up through that chest. Bend into that knee a little bit more. One more breath. Then release those arms up. Plant those hands down to the mat. Step it back to our plank. Moving through that vinyasa. And exhaling the hips to the sky. Downward facing dog. Let's step. Notes inhale. The left leg up. Exhale, curl that knee to the nose. Again, hug that knee in tight to the body. Really light. Step that foot through. Back knee lowers down. Inhale, reach those arms up overhead. Forward tight. Pressing those hips forward. Pressing that left heel down, pulling it back. Right knee presses down, pulls forward. Stabilize here. One more breath, squeeze. And release, press the hips forward a little bit more. Bring those hands to heart center, twist. Right elbow comes across that left thigh. Press into those hands, twist, lift over that elbow. Bring it back to center. Lower those hands down, fingertips down to the mat. Lift that back knee up. Okay, now really strong through the legs. You're gonna inhale those arms up overhead into that high crescent lunge. Left heel pulls back, right toes pull forward. Elbows pull down, interlace the fingers behind the back, open that chest. One more breath, breathe, sink a little bit deeper. Then we'll release those arms up. Plant the hands down. Step it back to our plank, moving through a vinyasa. And exhaling those hips to the sky. Downward facing dog. And let's inhale on the toes. Bend those knees, stepping those feet. Top of the mat. Big toes will come together to touch. Inhale, rise to standing. Reach it up tall. Exhale, sink those hips down to that chair. And we'll twist. Right arm's gonna reach back. The left arm's reaching forward. Sit the hips a little lower. Inhale, bring it back up. And exhale, twist to the other side. Left arm back, right arm forward. Sink the hips a little lower. Inhale, reach those arms up. And straighten those legs as we fold. Finding that flat back. Exhale, plant those hands. Stepping the feet back to our plank. Lower down. Inhale, lift that chest. Exhale, hips up and back, down dog. Feet together. Inhale that right leg up. Exhale, curl that knee to the nose, stepping that foot through. That knee lowers down. Inhale those arms up. Press the right heel down, pull back, left knee forward, squeeze, hold for 2 breaths. Stay tight. And then release, pressing those hips forward a little bit more. Hands will come to heart center, and then we'll twist. Left elbow hooks across that right thigh, facing over that right elbow. Bring it back to center. Hands lower down. Lift that back knee up. One more breath. And then inhale, reach those arms up overhead. Sink into the front knee a little more. Draw the elbows down. Interlace the fingers. Open up that chest. Then we'll release those arms up. Back heel's gonna spin down as we tee out those arms. Bend into that front knee for our warrior 2. Again, as we bend to this front knee, make sure we can see that big toe inside that knee. So we might want to press that knee out just a tiny bit. One more breath. Lower that right forearm down. Left arm sweeps up over our head, gazing up underneath that arm. Inhale, rise back up. Straighten that front leg. Flip that palm, reach it up and back. Then we'll re-tee out the arm, slight bend in that front knee. Reach that hand forward first. Lower that hand to the shin. Left arm reaches up. And then keeping your upper body in the same position, just bend into that right knee. So a little bit lower extended side angle. So keep reaching that left arm up, opening up through that chest. If this is way too much, just bring that forearm back to that elbow. And then we'll spin. Right hand down, right heel lifts up, twist, left or right arm. Left heel reaches up, right arm reaches up. Confusing, we'll just twist. And then we'll lower that hand down, step that foot back to our plank, vinyasa. And exhaling those hips to the sky, downward facing dog. Feet together, inhale, that left leg lifts. Curl that knee to the nose, stepping that foot through, back knee lowers. Inhale, reach those arms up. So a couple breaths here, find that stability. So left foot pulls back, right knee's pulling forward, core tight, reach those arms up. And then release, pressing those hips forward. Bringing those hands to heart center, hover that chest, and twist. Bring it back to center. Lower those hands down to the mat. Lift that back knee up. Inhale, reach those arms up overhead into that lunge. Draw those elbows down. Interlace the fingers behind the back. Open that chest. And we'll release those arms up. Spin that back heel down. Teeing out those arms into that warrior two. Begin. Left knee presses out. Teeny tiny bit. Want to see that toe, that big toe. Open up through the chest, core is tight. Then we'll lower that left forearm down. Right arm reaches up and over. So a lot of core. We don't want to put all of that weight onto that left arm. Inhale, rise up. Straighten that front leg. Flipping that palm. Reach it up and back. And then re-tee out those arms. Slight bend in that front knee. Reach that hand forward first. Hand lowers down to the shin. Right arm reaches up. And then we'll keep the body positioning the same. Just start to bend into that left knee. Again, if that's too much, come on up onto that form. Hold it here, another breath. And then lower. Right hand down, right heel spins up, and then twist. Left arm is reaching up. And lower that hand down. Send it back to our plank. Down. Inhale, lift. And then exhale, just sending those hips to the heels into that child's pose. Just rest that head down. Few breaths. Let's come back up onto hands and knees. Okay, this time knees will come underneath those hips. We're gonna slide those hands forward, pressing into those palms, pulling those forearms towards each other as that head lowers down. So into that puppy pose. Let's lower down onto those forearms. Slide it forward to our plank. Okay, let's hold it here. A little bit longer, really tighten the core. Pull the elbows back, pull the toes forward, hold it there. So not shooting really the core, whole body is firing here. Stay with it, keep breathing. You can do this on your knees. It's gonna be the same idea. Let's go for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower those hips down, point the toes into that Sphinx pose. So elbows are pulling back, that chest is pulling forward as we lift up through the crown of the head. So trying to find that nice long spine. And then we'll soften it down. Hands come underneath the shoulders, pressing those hips back to the heels. Now, adjust those legs so those knees are side by side, thighs are side by side, hips back. So again, we want to make sure the toes are pointing straight back as well. Just like we started, we're going to hook those elbows back to those knees. Like we're going to see us through this practice with that T-spine open up a little bit more, hopefully. We're going to reach that right arm out, turn that thumb down. Hand comes to the tailbone. Take that big breath in, look over the shoulder, open up, twist. Hold it for another 2 breaths. On that exhale, see if you can twist a little more. Then inhale, bring it back down. Exhale, open up, twist. Inhale, bring it back down. Last time, open up, twist. And bring it back down to the other side. Reaching that left arm out. Thumb turns down. Hands will come, the back of the hand comes to that tailbone. Take that big breath in. Look over that shoulder, twist. Hold it. Get on that exhale. Trying to find a little bit more twist. Inhale, bring it back down. And exhale, open up, twist. And inhale, bring it back down. Last time. Exhale, twist. Good. Slowly make your way out of it. Let's come up onto those hands and knees. Just a few cat-cows, kind of loosen up that back. So rounding the spine, draw that belly up and in. Inhale, drop the belly, lift the chest, lift the tailbone. So one more time, rounding the spine. Inhale, lift and lengthen. And then bring it back to neutral, stepping those feet back to our plank. And then hips to the sky, downward facing dog. Now let's bring that right knee to that right wrist. Foot slides across the mat. And we can send that left leg back a little bit more. Lower onto those forearms. But before we soften our head down, I'm going to give you guys the option of just walking those arms over to that right knee. Okay, so when we walk the body over, think of it more of as a side bend and not you're just leaning over onto that hip. Okay, so we want to think about that. Right knee is pulling back, left knee is pulling forward. Okay, stabilizing, and we'll find a little bit more twist. And then from here, maybe you just rest that head down onto those hands. If this is way too much of a stretch, just come back to the center. Right here, this position, and rest your head down. Let's walk those hands back to center. And come up onto those hands on the really slow. Press it back, downward facing dog. Bring that left knee to that left wrist. Foot comes across. Right leg slides back. And then we'll lower onto those forearms. And again, if you'd like, you can walk those hands over to that left knee. And then thrust that head down. But again, remember, we want to pull that left knee back slightly, right knee fully forward, stabilizing through those hips. Same idea that we do in the lunge. Bring it back to center. Move onto those hands. Send it back, downward facing dog. Let's lower onto our knees. Let's come onto our backs. Let's hug those knees into the chest. When you get there, little rock from side to side. Let's hug that right knee into the chest. Left leg extends out long. And then we'll twist. That left hand draws that knee across, right arm reaches out. Big breath in. And exhale, see if you can get a little more twist. And then bring that knee back to center. Switching sides, hug that left knee in. Right leg extends out. And then twist that knee across. Left arm reaches out. And bring that knee back to center. Hug both knees into the chest. As we round that spine, bringing the forehead to the knees. Then we'll extend those legs out, reaching those arms overhead. Full body stretch from the fingertips all the way down through those toes. Then we'll bring those arms down by the sides, palms will face up, shoulder blades will walk together. We bring those arms and legs a little bit wider. Take that really big breath in through the nose. Exhale, open the mouth, sigh it out. Relax here. These next few minutes. Begin to deepen your breath. Just gently begin to wiggle the fingers and the toes. Reaching your arms overhead. That full body stretch from the fingertips all the way down through those toes. And draw those knees into the chest. Just gently roll it on over to that right side. Right arm support the head. Left arm just falls in front, completely resting on your side. And gently press yourself up into that seat. Eyes remain closed, sitting up nice and tall. So you just pause, rest on your knees. Just pause here for a moment. Okay, big breath in through the nose. And out through the nose. Just a few moments of this calm, quiet space. Just feel with that breath. Open. All right. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a great evening. We have power yoga tomorrow morning, 25 minutes, 7 a.m. class. So hope to see you guys there. Otherwise, have a great evening.